Hi, Jose. So this is a video I'm creating for you to understand how to find the critical values when you have a situation where you don't have a standard confidence level. And so the problem that you specifically referred to was asking for a 99.5% confidence interval. And so the way you do it every time, it's not one of the 90, 95, 99 that's printed at the bottom right-hand corner of your positive z-score table, is you draw a picture, and whatever the confidence level is, in this case it's 99.5%, that 99.5% is sandwiched right in the middle. Well, if 99.5% is in the middle of this chart, there is some leftover for the 100%, namely 100% minus 99.5% leaves us with a leftover 0.5%. And that 0.5% is split up, right? Where 1/4% is down here and 1/4% is up here, right? So 0.5% divided in half is 0.25%. And so maybe we should be a little bit careful in all of this. I'm going to take a moment and put everything the way it is in the chart. Sorry about that lame picture. Let me back up for just a minute. Take that out of there and redraw that bell-shaped curve. So I'm going to draw the same bell-shaped curve here. Sorry, my hand hit the same thing. And remember, 99.5% is 0.995 as a real number. And the reason why I want you to see it like that is because real numbers are what's displayed in that chart. And 0.25% is 0.0025, and this is 0.0025. If you would add all those up, they would add up to be 1. Now, what z alpha over 2 is, the critical value, that's this value right here. I can get to that z value if I can give the chart the area to the left. So the area to the left of z alpha over 2 is 0.995 plus 0.0025. And if I add those up, I get 0.9975. So 0.9975 is the full area to the left, all this area down here, including this tail, including this middle region. And why is that so important? Because that's what my chart reflects. So with that in mind, let's go look at the chart. As we go look at the chart, we're looking for 0.9975. And we're looking at it as an area to the left. So this is a chart that is similar, but a little shaded differently than what you have. So if we look for 0.9975, I see it. It's right here, right? There's my 0.9975. And where is it? It's in the 2.8 row and then the 1 column. So again, 2.8 row, 0.01 column. So with that in mind, we go back over here and we know our critical value. Our critical value, our z alpha over 2 value, is that 2.81. That's how you're going to get that critical value that's needed, or that should be what's displayed in the back of the book. So just for emphasis, this process will work with any confidence level that I give you. So if I give you a 90% confidence interval, a 95% confidence interval, or a 99% confidence interval, there's no side work for you to do because of the chart. If I'm sure you know and you remember that down here, the confidence level being 90%, I get my critical value just through this chart. They've done all that work for me, but they can't do everything. And so as we go back and maybe we just make up something that's different. So if I were to give you a 90, trying to think of the examples that I gave in class, but if I gave you a 96% confidence interval. So and you needed to get a z alpha over 2. If the question was, what's the critical value? Or if you need to go into the formula, Z alpha over 2 P hat Q hat all over E, all over N. Sorry about that. We're referring, the critical value is that Z alpha over 2 value. So if you're ever needing to find that because they give you a non-standard one, you have to follow the steps exactly. So remember what the steps were. Hey, visually display what the 96% is. I'm going to go ahead and put it as its decimal equivalent in here. Hopefully that's okay. 0.96 is 96%. Well, 100% minus 96% tells me that there's 4% left over. Well, that 4% is evenly split with 2% being on one side and 2% being on the other. Notice if you were to add up all those numbers, they'd add up to be 1 for 100%. Well, we remind ourselves Z alpha over 2 is this value. So all I have to do is go into the chart with the full area to the left. The full area to the left is the 96% that brings me up to this little point right here, that line, plus the additional 0.02 for 0.98. So I'm looking for 0.98 as an area to the left in the chart. The moment I find that, whatever its Z alpha over, whatever its Z score is, that's my Z alpha over 2. So we're in here and we're looking for 0.98. And as I look for 0.98, I watch it be jumped over right there. 0.9798 and 0.9803. 9.98 has been jumped. I'm looking in here because this is area to the left, which is what I have right now. And I'm looking for a Z-score. Considering both of those, this 9798 is the closest one. And so I know I got to travel up that row to see what its ending number is. Its ending number is a 5. And the beginning numbers are along this row. And that is a 2.0, so 2.05. That's your answer. So our answer is, looking up the 0.98, remind yourself what we did. We found it as 9798. That was the closest one. It was in the 0.05 column. It was in the 2.0 row. And so our Z alpha over 2 would be 2.05. And you could do that with anything. I could keep making up numbers and you'd be able to go right back in there and do it. So hopefully this is helpful. Let me know if it's not. Thanks so much.